Ah, my Lord Envoy, I trust your stay in the Sultanate has been pleasant. Now, if you do not mind my asking, do you perchance have plans to visit Limsa Lominsa in the near future? If so, I have information that may be of interest to you. I once accompanied the Flame General on an official visit to the seaside city-state, during which time I became acquainted with Baderon, the proprietor of the Drowning Wench. Well, the man sent word just now that he has a job for a capable adventurer. I can think of none with better credentials than you. Baderon would doubtless be pleased were you to offer him your services. Welcome to the Drowning Wench. Sit wherever you like, mate. I'll be with you in a... Well, if it ain't the one and only Arten Istrov. I was told a distinguished venturer might be reporting for duty. Fancy that venture being you, eh? Just so you're fairly warned, though, this ain't no job for the faint of heart. Things are liable to get downright bleeding airy, but if you think you're still interested, let me know, and I'll fill you in on the details. I thank you for taking the time to help me out. Now I'm sure you're busy, so I'll come straight to the point. Word has it some suspicious-looking buggers have been sneaking in and out of the Sastasha Sea Grot, and I need a trustworthy sort to head up north of Aleport and find out who they are and what they're up to. Don't sound like much, I know. But since that nasty business over in Swiftperch, folk have been a bit uneasy. Well, I say a bit. 'Tis all they can do not to soil themselves every time the bloody floorboards creak. If you would permit me, Master Baderon, I should be happy to elaborate. Well, if it ain't the Chief Yellow Jacket himself, to what do I owe this rare honor, Commodore Raynor? Come to make sure me patrons are behavin', or just thirsty? Neither. In fact, I came to welcome Arten back to Limsa Lominsa. It is well you have returned. Over the course of the past moon, there have been several sightings of an unfamiliar vessel off the coast of Aleport in the vicinity of the Isles of Umbra. This information came to my attention no more than a few weeks after a squad of my own soldiers had completed a routine patrol of the region, the Sastasha Sea Grot included. Their search revealed little, save that a family of Corels had taken up residence in the caves. Nothing to concern us, in short. In light of recent developments, however, it would seem wise to search Sastasha again. But with the Sahagin testing our defenses daily, I am loath to assign the task to the limited forces at my disposal. Our line is stretched as it is. Thus, I sought the services of a competent adventurer to conduct an investigation in our stead. Any aid you can offer in this matter would be greatly appreciated. Then it is settled. Sastasha is located in western Lanaska. For more detailed instructions on how to reach the place, I suggest you consult Vimpella. She can be found at the ferry docks on the lower decks. You heard the man. Good luck to you, lad. You're here about Commodore Raynor's investigation? Then you'll want to board a ferry bound for Aleport. Once you arrive in western Lanaska, though, you'd best pay a visit to the Hall of the Novice before you blunder into Sastasha. The hall is on the way to Sastasha, just north of Aleport. Head inside and one of their seasoned adventurers will take you in hand. Best of luck to you, friend. This ferry is bound for Aleport. Are you riding with us? Ah, you must be the adventurer of whom the Yellow Jackets sent word. I hear you're to brave the depths of the Sastasha Sea Grot. The occupants of those caves are rumored to be as numerous as they are bloodthirsty. No matter what the epic tales would have you believe, strolling into such a den of savagery alone would be the height of foolishness. No, you shall need companions, and you shall need the training we here at the Hall of the Novice can provide. When you have mastered all that our masters have to teach, then it will be time to head north once more. Report to the Yellow Jacket Scout at the mouth of the Sastasha Sea Grot. This is perfect for our inaugural outing as a party. Wandering around in the caves, turning over a few rocks, how difficult could it possibly be? I never expected our first visit to the Adventurers Guild would yield such a straightforward way to win fame and fortune. Edda, you're so slow. You'd lose a foot race to a tree slug. What took you so bloody long, Edda? If my purse was too light, you might have considered using some of your own bleeding coin to get us what we need. You've only been as useful as the contents of your pockets. The gods know you can barely heal a scratch. We took up the venture in life to take on the big jobs and claim the big rewards. How are we meant to do that if you can't even get our supplies in order? It's him, the one Batteron was talking to. Well, we'll see who gets the glory. This job should have been ours in the first place. I'm sorry, Avery. I came as fast as I could. I tried haggling with the merchant, but 2 potions was the best I could get with the money you gave me. I had no idea how expensive they were. Please tell me you're here on Yellow Jacket duty and not some daft sought out for a stroll. I can't take any more of this blasted waiting. You are? Thank the gods. I assume you already know about the ship seen slipping around the Isles of Umbra? We've been on the lookout for pirate activity ever since that vessel was sighted, thinking a crew of cutthroats might have a den nearby. So when we received word that men of questionable quality had been seen passing in and out of Sastasha here, we weren't entirely surprised. I've yet to see them for myself, but if this lot belongs to those fishback fancy and serpent reavers, well, you can imagine the panic it'll cause. The kidnappings are still fresh in people's minds. Anyway, your task is to poke around in the caves and find out exactly who we're dealing with. While you do that, I'll be keeping watch out here, praying you don't spot any blue face tattoos. Foreseer will be safe with us. We're counting on you to cut us a path to the landing boat. Let us be about our task. Arton, pray inform the steersman at the pier that we are ready to conduct our inspection. Should violence be offered, you are to execute stratagem hammerfall. Do not forget, your tactics are both your shield and your weapon. You're with them folks from Melvin's Gate? Hells, I knew there'd be trouble. Well then, I'm certainly glad to see you can handle yourself. You'll find the landing boat just down here at the end of this ramp. I'll have no part of what comes next, though. Deftly handled, Arton. Once again, I am reminded of our guildmaster. Thanks to your efficient response, we will be able to commence this inspection earlier than I had calculated. We shall board the merchant vessel out in the bay. As Thoda, if you would take the rudder, the Morning Star awaits. Since their welcoming party at the pier failed to deter us, I expect, with a probability of 85%, that our arrival will incite further belligerence. Our objective, however, is not to trade blows, but to gain access to the hold. It may behoove us to employ stratagem hardhead. The aim of our opponents is to buy time so that suspect goods may be tossed into the ocean. I do not intend to give them that time. We will bull our way towards the cargo hold as quickly as we can. It is a tactic fraught with risk, but one that your presence makes possible. Shall we begin? I am Foreseer Clea. By the authority of Melvin's Gate, I request that you surrender your goods for assessment. Well, now, your timing couldn't be worse, lass. The old door's all rusted up, you see. Bloody thing won't open. You'll have to come back another day after we's fixed the hinges. I will see that cargo now. Any vessel entering a port of Limsa is bound by law to submit to a routine inspection. The law, is it? Lads, I reckon it's time our guests had themselves a little accident. Pitch 'em over the side. A masterful display, Arton. Now we can finally gain access to their cargo. Oof. What have we here, then? It's one of the bitch admiral's lapdogs scampering about me ship. You're just like your mistress, always sticking your nose in where it ain't invited. No, it can't be. Huh, recognize me pretty face, did you? But you were caught, exiled. Foreseer, are you hurt? Can you stand? Stay back. You stay away from me. Foreseer, please calm down. What are your orders? I've had enough of your whimpering, and I've certainly had enough of these bloody books. It's clear you ain't learning anything from them. Reckon it's time you got a different kind of lesson. Clea, Nafika preserve us, she's fainted. We must withdraw. Martin, quickly, back to the boat. We'll carry the Foreseer. Aye, that's right. You slink on back to your mistress, you worthless curs. We'll take care of Clea. You'd best return to the Arcanist Guild and report to Mistress Thubagrim. It is good to see you well, Arton. Guestfriend sent word ahead of your travails. An unfortunate turn of events, but considering the infamous Blackheart you faced, you might have fared much worse. Have you heard of the pirate Dos Maga? He was exiled from Limsa Lominsa some years ago, but it appears he has chosen to defy the Admiral's orders. And once more he dares lay a hand on Foreseer Clea. That poor lass must have been terrified. If I had known Dos Maga was aboard that ship, I never would have assigned her that duty. The assessor may require some time to recover. For Clea, that man is a nightmare made flesh. Though her physical wounds will soon mend, there's little we can do to salve the hurt to her mind. You are concerned? Angry mayhap? Harness that energy and channel it into your training. I predict we shall be needing your skills again before long. Greetings, Arton. In case such doubts fill your mind, you should know that I am ever willing to lend an ear if you find your thoughts troubled. At the very least, I would have you know this, because it seems that Clea does not. The Foreseer has been missing since this morning. There have been other times where she has disappeared without a word, but we have always been able to find her. Alas, that is not the case this day. Were the Guildmaster here, he could deduce her whereabouts with nary a moment's concentration. I find myself beginning to wonder if those who devote themselves overmuch to Arcanima are more prone to bouts of wanderlust, but while I might wish to ponder further such oddities of character, we must needs organize a search party. Would you be so kind as to make inquiries in Hawker's Alley? It is not uncommon for Clea's wanderings to take a path through the markets. You seek a Mikote, agent of Melvin's Gate? Why, yes, I've seen her, spoke with her, in fact. She was, however, apprehended by the Yellow Jackets. The assessor was drilling me for details about a Kikaran smuggling ring based in Aleport, but then the soldiers arrived and took her away. If you wish to know her fate, then I suggest you speak with Grenade of the Coral Tower. Foreseer Clea? Yes, we brought her in for questioning regarding the reappearance of the pirate Dos Maga. A member of the Arcanist Guild, are you? Then I see no reason to conceal the nature of our discourse. Perhaps you are already aware of this, but the Foreseer was once held captive by that rabid sea dog. Few pirates sink to such depths of depravity as Dos Maga. It has been 6 years now since he was exiled from Limsa Lominsa for engaging in the worst kind of black market dealing, and now the villain has returned. He is, however, both cunning and cautious, and continues to evade our troops. Thus we hope to borrow the knowledge of Foreseer Clea, whose experiences have given her an intimate familiarity with the way this scoundrel operates. At least that was our intent. After weathering a barrage of questions from the assessor, we found ourselves instead providing the details of our search. Back already? You were led to believe she had returned here? I'm afraid not. So the Yellow Jackets told you something of her history with Dosmaga, did they? Perhaps it would be best if I told you the entire tale. Dosmaga's banishment was the result of a surprise inspection that revealed his involvement in an underground slave trade. The assessor that stepped aboard the pirate's merchant ship spoke of finding dozens of unwashed unfortunates crammed into that squalid hold. Among those prisoners was a young Mikote, destined for some black market auction block. Though Clea was initially too terrified to even speak, the guildmaster brought her out of her fearful daze with the gift of an initiate's grimoire. Yes, the self-same tome that she has carried her entire career. Of course, did you not mention that Clea's grimoire was thrown into the sea? There are rumors that a Kikurin merchant of ill repute has retrieved the black market goods the crew of the Morning Star heaved into the ocean. Even now he gloats over his salt-encrusted catch in Aleport. It is entirely possible that the Foreseer's most prized possession was caught up in the Kikurin salvage net. I've no doubt now that Clea has reached the same conclusion. To Aleport with you, Arton. That is where you will find the Foreseer. Yes, Combat Pattern 256 should serve to cover all expected contingencies. You never know when you'll have to nullify a thaumaturge or two. My retrieval strategy is complete. Arton, it's good of you to come. I was unable to calculate for certain if you would piece together my movements in time. Very little is certain when so many variables are involved. But there is good news. The prisoner here was kind enough to confirm that the trader who salvaged the Morningstar's jettisoned cargo did indeed retrieve a tome matching the description of my lost grimoire. Leminson law and the policies of Melvin's Gate would support the confiscation of goods connected to an official inspection, but alas, my personal belongings do not fall under that definition. Thus, I intend to launch an unofficial offensive against this black marketeer and his cronies. The peddler has already departed for Candlekeep Quay. It is time I gathered to me such allies as I possess, and I count you as one of them, Arton. Despite the nature of this endeavor, Mistress Thubigam has offered me her cooperation. If you would, pray join her at Ocean's Embrace. That is where we shall ambush this disreputable Kikurin. Greetings, Arton. Your arrival completes our small company. You are equipped for battle, I trust? We need not await Clea's arrival. Once the Kikurin appears on the bridge, we spring our ambush. Strategy for trapping our target relies on the two allies we have concealed on the other side of the ravine. This pincer maneuver was, naturally, the Foreseer's idea. As for the target himself, the Kikurin is known as a careful and cautious fellow. He travels with a small retinue so as to avoid attracting attention, but do not be fooled. More bodyguards follow. Do not, however, expect any assistance from the Yellow Jackets. They cannot be seen aiding us in what amounts to a personal matter. In any case, the Foreseer's tactics account for our limited number and individual strengths. That appears to be the last of them. Now to find the Foreseer's grimoire. Well executed, everyone. Were you able to retrieve my grimoire? Arton, pray hand over the tome. It's ruined. My wonderful grimoire is ruined. The probability of repairing this degree of damage is 0%. Even the most brilliant strategy cannot undo such ravages of seawater. I have never felt so defeated. I believe it is time I returned home. Leave her be. But how can I? He's right, Ashthoda. You must allow Clea time to process the loss. And you have other matters to which you must attend. Come, Arton, it is time we return to the guild as well. Not quite the victory we imagined, was it? The moment Clea beheld her soaked and tattered grimoire, you could see the light of hope die in her eyes. There is, however, something we can do. I will call on your aid soon, but in the meantime, you would be well served to deepen your knowledge of Arcanima. Aye, such a task was on the books. Was, mind. I'm afraid that ship has already sailed, friend. Ah, might you be the adventurer who accepted the job of investigating Sastasha? It would seem that the ship has not only sailed, but now returns to harbor, none the worse for its voyage. A pity. We dragged our boots too long on this one. No matter, the wheel will turn and our chance will come. You are right, of course, but there shall be no rest till we have attained our goal, lofty though it may be. Not a wink of sleep, great leader! Our aim, lest you wonder, is to perform such feats of heroism as will earn us a place in the songs of every alehouse in Eorzea. We mean to write a legend which will inspire adventurers as yet unborn. Do you have such a goal? Large or small, it matters not. Only have a star to reach for, and you will reach higher. Purpose can sustain you through times of hardship. Keep your eye on the prize, and all obstacles will be overcome in time. You would not think to stride into battle unclad, would you? Well, goals are as arms and armor for the spirit. I wish you fortune in your endeavors, sir. Back then, are you? With all your limbs and a tale to tell, I'll wager. Fishbacks? And there I was, thinking you'd only have to crack a pirate skull or three. 7 L's. You turn your back for 5 bloody minutes, and the scaly bastards have set up shop on your bleeding doorstep. Still, sounds like you left them in pieces, so I don't suppose they'll be carrying out whatever mischief they was planning, unless they was planning on feeding themselves to the fauna of Sastasha, of course. Any road, all's well that ends well. Thanks for shedding some light on this mystery. I knew you'd get the job done, lad. You always do. Now, I'll bet you're dying for a rest, but just in case you're not, I was wondering if you might be interested in taking on another job. It just so happens that I've had a request from our sister guild in Gridania, see. Seems the forest folk are in need of a venturer what can get things done. For them to ask for help like this, you can bet the task won't be no skip through a sunny glade, but after the way you dealt with our fishback infestation, I doubt it's anything you can't handle. Give us a shout when you're ready, and I'll lay it out for you. Ready to hear about that job, then? Like I said, the request comes from our sister guild in Gridania, and that's all I know. But whatever it is you get asked to do, I somehow doubt it'll pose any trouble for a venturer who has survived the bedlam in Sastasha. If you think you might be interested, you'll want to have words with Mother Moon, my counterpart in Gridania. Good luck, mate.